that too, like the Kangaroo Tour in 1982. Like I'm just looking at some of the players here that you toured with, and again, you must think back and go, "Wow, I played with blokes like." Again, Gene Miles, Wally Lewis, Mal Meninga, Junior Pearce, Steve Rogers, Chris Anderson, Gary Bowstead, and there's what was it like when how did you find out you first were going to play for Australia, and do you remember how you felt?
Yes, and 82 after the grand final, we were back at the club, and they announced that 6 of us were in the touring
celebrating the grand final.
Yeah,
and they announced that half a dozen had to.
Yeah,
so that upped the ante another 20% for the celebrations.
Another 20 schooners.
I had a schooner as our booker then.
Game champion.
Mate. I remember being on the plane and we're playing cards. There was Ian Schubert. He was my roomie for the he was fantastic.
Was it room 167 party room? Is that what it was called? I've researched it.
Yeah, I think it is.
It was called the party room.
Look at Guru's memory going. 167. That's right. Ding ding ding.
Sorry,
ding,
so
ding,
you
ding,
got
ding,
Ian
ding.
Schubert, you're on
Where
the
did
plane.
you get that from?
I got my sources, mate.
We
Don't
get
worry.
everything
I've been
here.
snooping around
The hell's
Paraleaks.
that?
167. Wow. Okay. We're on the plane, and I remember we go back to the Ray the bubblegum cards, and I used to swap Chris Anderson's card and Rod Reddy and Ian Schubert, and here I am playing cards with him. And I thought, wow, how good's this? Fantastic. And mate, it's like jumping off the club scene with such a great team, and then being part of that team was just.
What about Wally?
Wally, yeah. No,
Was he king?
No, not that
No?
tour. He wasn't. Brett was the king.
Yeah.
But Wally, I knew Wally. He was just up the. He was probably the next. He was 2 rooms away from where we were staying. I got to know him a little.
165.
165. Yeah, and he was. We'd go out together and get on the drink and stuff like that. And he was all right. He was fine. It was when he had some issues. I think a few years later he had some issues. He was getting that. He was getting having some fits and stuff like that.
Yeah. Epileptic fits. Yeah. Was he that?
He had an aloofness about him. But if you knew him, you knew how to take it. Or
Was he? As a player, how did all the other players feel about him? And at the end of his career, they say, "Well, yeah, he was the king. He could change games."
Yeah, 100%.
Blokes followed him, didn't they?
Well, his state of origin career was amazing,
ridiculous,
amazing.
ridiculous.
He was just in charge.
They were gone that many times and came back. It's like he said, "What are you doing? We were gone. We're not going to let this happen."
Yep.
But people ask me about, do you reckon he's the greatest player? I think Joey's the greatest player I've ever seen because, and no disrespect to Wally, but Wally didn't have Joey's kicking game. Yep. Joey could kick him from, and his general kicking. I mean, invented those banana kicks and that shit, and then kick a goal from anywhere in the game. But that's with no disrespect to Wally, mate. How tough, how strong was he?
He was like another forward.
He was, mate.
Some of his hits were.
He'd pick front rowers up and drive them back, wouldn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I remember a test against New Zealand. I wasn't playing. It was a couple of years later, and he hit this forward, the New Zealand forward. And no one's ever hit him like that. He just wrapped him up and bang. It was the end of him.
And Junior Pearce, like we've had him on the podcast a while ago, and
let's bag him.
Yeah,
we're all bag Junior. We're all mates of Juniors.
And he plays in the band with us, the Oz Icons. And when he's in the band room and he takes his shirt off, even in his 60s now, he puts us to shame. So even back in those, he was like a fitness freak, and he was just right into it.
Yeah, unreal. He before we went, and after a test, we put this song on. It was called "The Flying Kangaroos." I forget who sang it. But they pop it through the PA through the bus, and he'd get up, take his shirt off, and the handle, the bars going down the bus, so you could, when you're walking down the bus, you don't fall over. And he's doing twists and things and stuff.
Still does that on stage.
And he was unreal, mate. He just, the energy levels,
and nothing's changed.
No, absolutely.
So in Party Room 167, there was obviously called Party Room for a reason. Like, is it you and Ian were sort of like the kings of the party?
And let me just go back. Shuey had the long blonde hair, like him and Russell Fairfax at the Roosters had the long, and they weren't allowed in the club, were they, for a while? Because they had the long hair.
I heard that story, yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
So I've asked Russell about that because I play a bit of golf with Russell on Mondays now. And I go, is that true? They wouldn't let you? Yeah, but there was a back door and we'd go up into the the sort of committee room, and then, but because they had the long hair, mate, barred, had to be collar length.
Yep.
And they were their two best players. Like there's Shuey playing for Australia.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So the party room.
Yeah. Sorry, Dawes. Sorry, Dawes. Back to the party.
Straight to the party. Shuey was
Cups of tea and stuff and biscuits.
Yeah, biscuits. Yeah. Shuey was the man. He taught me everything I know, and I would just follow suit because he'd organise these what do you call it?
Sambucas.
No, like a oh God, my memory.
A biscuit.
No,
A drink card.
like a when you get invited to a birthday, you get in the
invitation.
Invitation. You're invited to the birthday.
That's right.
So we get invited to the
Nervous,
clubs.
aren't you?
Yes.
I'm thinking about the party room. I don't know what I'm doing. But there's invitations. We used to write those invitations to give it to everybody at training. There's a party on later on in the room. And it was signed by the
fucking pencil.
Was he really good with money?
167.
Sherbert, was he really good with money? Was he an accountant? Because he had no idea about the
Salary cap.
salary cap. Yeah.
But he played for the Rauders, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He did play for the Rauders
He would
as
have
well.
learned a lot from them,
Yeah, learn a lot from the Rauders and
Yeah.
East. Yeah.
Jeez.
We try sticking the knife into the Roosters there. That's all right.
That's
That
easy,
is,
mate.
But on that tour, I've heard you interviewed before, and there was a game against Hull, one of the club sides, and it was you had to win
Was
that
it
game.
was it all or all KR?
All. I've just got
Because
all.
there's two, isn't there? Or just all.
And you had to win that game to beat the previous tour unbeaten run.
Yep.
And apparently the ground was covered in sleet and was freezing, and sounded like a pretty tough game.
It was. They wanted to belt us. They didn't want us to win because they knew. And Frankie Stanton had got a new tap move called winger in. So the winger, Sterlo taps it, or Max Crillis taps it, and the winger takes it up and hits all this
Straight into the
big
forward
forwards.
pack.
Is that how it started? And I only interrupt you there because Gary Webster, I don't know if you know Gary Webster, played first grade for Western Balmain. He used to go, I used to hate when they go, well, winger in, and you'd have Terry Fay or you'd have the Guru running in.
No.
Like all, yeah.
Look at Goo going, that wasn't a fucking good idea, winger in.
They gave away so many. They tried to belt us, so there was penalties galore. So it was a kick out, winger in, winger in. All right, we'll belt this winger. I got belted from pillar to post. I bruises all over me, and plus it was sleet. It was that cold. I just had skin off everywhere.
Wouldn't all of them games, but that you played as Australia against Hull or whatever, wouldn't that always try to fucking belt you leading up to the Test match, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they're all tough games.
Yeah.
We ended up winning by a fair bit in most of the games, but they're always tough.
Got belted.
They won the fight. Yeah.
You would have taken it up, Widow.
When you think of like the 80s and English players, geez, they had some tough guys, didn't they? Like some of those the forwards were
Fucking
just like,
brutal.
Steve Norton.
Oh.
He knew how to
A couple
headbutt.
came out and played for Cronulla. They were tough boys too in the
Cliff
early
Watson.
days.
Cliff
Cliffy
Watson,
Watson, man, tough dude.
and later on Adrian Morley, I think he's got the record
Morley.
for getting the quickest send-off in a
And
Test
there was a
match.
couple
was
played
mad,
for
he was mad.
Manly too who were really tough suckers.
Yeah.
Talking about send-off, did you ever get send-off, Guru?
Once I got, was it 10 minutes?
Yeah?
Me and
Sin bin.
playing.
Was
Yeah,
it send-in? No, I'm talking about send-off,
No, that's-
suspended for 3-4 weeks. No, that's no good.
No,
Next week.
Guru didn't. I asked him about the punching on and that. He went, let them fucking blokes do that
Love it,
inside.
yeah.
I was on the wing.
The wingers make love.
Yeah.
So you only got send-in once?
Yeah, that was against the Gold Coast, and who was, I forget the four. He used to play for Manly. Mad second rower.
With the headgear?
Yes.
Oh, I know.
He used to lead with his head, and great defender, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, mad.
Mad.
Oh, I forget his name.
Played for a few clubs, and this is his last year playing, and he's hit me late. I was in a tap and tapped the ball and threw it to someone, and he's come over the top, and we both got headgear on. So he's in a pile on the ground in front of me, and he's looked at me. He says, "Yeah, come on." We both got headgear on, and we go, it was the best fight ever, and we got 10 minutes each.
And that's it.
That's it.
No send-offs, no nothing.
No.
I got sent off twice playing cricket.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
I reported badly twice.
And what'd you do to earn that?
I wanted to fight Rod Marsh on the field during the Shield final.
And-
Well, I didn't want to fight him. I told him to fuck off after I'd got him out, and he walked 20 metres and turned around and come back and said, "What did you say?" That's all he had to say. It was nearly on. And then we're playing a World Cup game, Perth against Pakistan. We needed 35 to win. Me and Bruce Reid were in. We're 9 down, and there's 3 overs to go. So how Bruce Reid and I are going to get 35? And Waqar, Wasim, and Imran were playing, and they had a leg spinner on, and I pushed forward, and they thought I'd nicked it. And they just pearled. This is the game. They're beating us in Perth. The South African umpire gave me not out, and the wicketkeeper called me a cheat.
Is that Moen Khan?
Yes.
What about the
So
memory?
did they go red card, yellow card?
He put his gloves up like that,
Pink
and I
card.
just slapped his gloves. Said, "Don't you call me a fucking cheat." Then Imran come in. Weird, what's going on? And then Wasim come in and said,
Jeez.
fight me. I said, you take another fucking step, I'll knock you right out. So I got reported after the game, and Moen came up with their manager, and their manager said he couldn't speak English. So I got canned.
Jeez.
Wow.
For
Do you reckon Ron Gibbs would have taken that?
Ronnie Gibbs.
Ronnie Gibbs!
You
that
reckon
was
Ronnie
him,
would have
man,
taken
Ronnie
that?
Gibbs.
Ronnie would have been into it with his
Oh,
head.
I was
gonna say.
He was mad.
Yeah.
So that tour, like, back in the day,
I think Ronnie had a bit of curry in him. Did he have a bit of Aboriginal
I think
in
he
him?
did,
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
footballer, but 100%.
He could play, yeah.
Yeah.
But those tours in those days, they were long tours, weren't they? How long was that? 82
Yeah, it
Kangaroo
was-
Tour? A couple of months?
It was 3 months.
3
It was
months,
2
wow.
months in England and 1 month in France.
Jeez, that would have been good in
Did
this.
they
maybe
have
four-
planes then? Did you fly then, or was it by boat?
No, we flew in.
Okay.
Tell us
Propeller, had
about
propellers.
how tough was it in France? Did they try and belt you as well?
Yeah, the 78 tour, they got beat twice by France. The
Yeah.
2 tests they played, France beat them,
Wow.
but the referee, the
Yeah.
penalty count was 14-1 or whatever,
Yeah,
20 to
of
1.
course.
And we were really aware of that. It was spoken about. But no, we ended up smacking.
And did you play like
remember
Hull and like equivalent of those?
Yeah, we
teams?
played a couple of
like
Rohan
Perpignan or whatever.
Yeah, Rohan or something.
And did they try to belt you, or they just weren't
No, they
at
just-
the right level? Yeah.
Yeah, we 65-0 once.
Yeah,
won
yeah,
once,
yeah,
or-
yeah.
I kicked a goal in that game.
Wow, from in front, sideline, or where from?
Well, yeah,
Fantastic.
as the story goes, it was snowing, sleet everywhere, and it was right on the sideline. No, it was
Curled it in with the wind.
right in front. We scoring so many tries that someone said, "Yeah, if you score, you kick a goal."
Yeah.
How many goals?
Like under
did you-
sixes,
Yeah.
eh?
Scraped over.
How many goals did you kick in your career? One. That was it.
That was it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's so unfair, mate.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
really.
bloody greedy, them bloodies,
Yeah.
aren't they? They can kick.
In '84, the Poms came out for the tour to Australia, and do you remember much about that? Playing for Australia on home soil.
Yeah, that was pretty special. Yeah, I remember Ross Conlon got picked in the first test. I didn't make the first test, and then he got injured, and I played in the second and third test, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great to play on home soil. And, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, well,
Was Ross Conlon picked because of his kicking? Like, I'm not
I'm
trying
not sure.
to be,
Yeah, well,
because
Oh, he's a great kicker.
Great kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he had a great boot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
But he was playing well at that,
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
stage.
yeah.
He was playing really well. Yeah.
Tigers.
Yep.
and the year after '85, you actually went over and played football in England for Leeds.
Yes,
Yeah.
84, 85. Yeah, the off season our off season is was their season in those
And
days.
so,
yeah.
how did you find playing in the club competition?
Fantastic! I
Over
loved it. It was
Yeah,
really
Good
good.
money, eh, Guru?
Yes, yeah.
No, it's good.
No, it was. It was
Yeah,
good money.
fantastic.
We had a fella called John White that managed people that wanted to go over there. Sterlo went over first, and then Brett and a few. We lined up and went
No,
over.
fantastic.
I was at Wembley and watched Sterlo and Brett Kenny play against
How
each
good
other
was
in
that
that
game?
80.
Oh,
They were just
I was travelling
fantastic.
around. I'd
Memories.
been to Egypt and Israel. We come back to England, hanging out in London. They go, man, this game of rugby league, and there was 100,000 people there.
Yeah,
it
it was
was
amazing.
just amazing, absolutely
And
amazing.
they had great games.
Oh, both of
Sterlo
them
and
had sensational games.
Chicker Ferguson,
Chicker on the wing, yeah. How old was Chicker? No one ever knew.
52.
And he can still run. Get down that sideline, brother.
I got a story about Chicker, but I won't.
no.
we can cut it
no,
out.
no, yeah, we can cut it out later.
out.
Now, this is for the Patreons. They get this, so
They
not
get the
many
juicy,
people. Yeah, they
so-
get the juicy. Give us a bit of juice.
Oh no.
Well, why are you wiping your mouth then? Give us a bit of juice, man.
You're not going to say he's built like a West Indian, because that's true about them, you know that.
No, well, they got white tongues, haven't they?
And really white hands.
Yeah.
The bottom of their feet
Chicker
are
had
very,
this
very
white,
light.
the whitest tongue you've ever seen before.
There's more to that story, I reckon.
We'll leave it at that.
Patreon subscribers,
We'll talk
they'll
about
get
tongues.
that.
We don't talk about tongues on this show.
Where are we? So what was it like playing in those small English grounds and with big crowds?
And did they try to belt you because you're an Aussie playing in their competition? And
Yeah, there was a bit of that. Yes, at Leeds, we there was a mass exodus from Australia going over to England. We had, at one stage, we ran on with 11 Aussies in the Leeds team. So we pretty much kicked out most of their team.
And how did that go down?
Yeah, it didn't go down
not
real
good,
well.
yeah.
There was rumblings here and there and stuff like that. But
And was that because they had money and they wanted to sort of buy a premiership, so we'll get the Aussies over, or everybody wanted to play there and earn a quid?
it was just that period of time where everyone went over. It was the off season, our off season, and their on season, so it worked. People
And as
could go.
far as money was concerned, what was it, double what you're earning here? Because you're getting paid pounds then.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Played 4 months, and it was
Fantastic.
It was put in the bank at Isle of Man, so there was no tax.
Yep.
So we went at the end of the period, and we could just take it out. And it was the same money that we signed on for. It was great.
No, unreal. You deserve it.
Yep.
You deserve it.
86 Kangaroo Tour you didn't make because you had knee ligament problems, I believe.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I asked for some grace. When you get over to England, there's a week of time where you're training up to the first club game, and I said, could I miss the first club game? Because after the grand final, I'd blown up and stuff like that, and they said, no, we need you go through a fitness test, and we can't have that happening. And so I went to a test. Tested it, and it was really swollen and carrying on, getting angry, and and also there was a lot of people don't know this, but I was struggling mentally at that stage too, so it became a mental struggle. Wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I had 2 little kids, Eric and Daniel were young, and they didn't want me to go. Their mother was carrying on a little bit, and I understood why she was, and so that all was playing in my head at the same time too. So so I didn't. I could have gone, but I didn't.
Yeah, so the mental side of the game, so obviously you've struggled a bit on that front, as a lot of people do, and
100%,
talked about much more these days, but I suppose back in the 80s it probably wasn't talked about too much. No. And how did you handle trying to keep that under wraps, or how did you deal with it?
I didn't deal with it. I dealt with it myself. As you said, Dawes, I could have spoken to people about it, but you just don't realise in those days that you can.
Yep.
Yep, for sure.
And I suppose the sport
back in them days, Dawes, I've got to tell you, it was regarded as not like it is today. It was a bit of a weakness. Yes, a weakness,
wasn't it?
And you didn't want to sort of go and go, well, fuck, man, I'm a Test cricketer and I'm first class cricketer for the Blues, but I've got these mental problems. Oh, it's weakness, mate. That's how it was felt in those days. So you didn't talk about it.
And with a tough sport like rugby league as well.
100%.
It's pretty hard to hide. And there were times, look, my self-esteem was struggling, especially towards the latter end of my career. I really struggled. To the point where I faked an injury and I didn't want to play. I made out it was an injury, but it was simply just my head wasn't doing it, wasn't getting into it.
I tried to do that at a gig the other week.
But you still got on.
We made him play. We made him play.
And I blitzed him.
Do you know what the contributing factors were for you feeling like that?
Yeah, awful.
Family, and you had, like you say, you had 2 sons now.
Yeah, my mother mollycoddled me when I was growing up. She was a real mum, a loving mum and all that sort of stuff. And there's a little bit of that. There was a time, I remember when I was 12, I went to the Liverpool swimming pool, and I was with a mate, and there was a group of guys, and they looked thuggy or whatever, and one of their little brother got up I was on the 3-metre board ready to dive in, and he jumped in front of me, and I went, hey, like that anyway. He jumped in the pool, and then I went in after him. We got our clothes on and stuff like that, and we walked outside at the entrance of the Liverpool bars there, walking across the road, and this group come after me across the road and started belting me on the road, and I remember thinking, why are they doing that? I couldn't believe it. It just blew me away. I thought, why are they trying to hurt me? That sort of stuff, That that stuck with me for the rest of my life. Had this fear or something.
Yeah.
I always thought the other wingers were bigger, or I always had this fight that I thought everyone was so much better or whatever. Towards the latter end of the career, you know, that was I really struggled with all that.
Isn't it funny, because probably the opposite was true. You were probably a better athlete and a better winger than all of them.
Yeah,
but a lot. See, the other thing I'll say to you now is, until you played at that level, and both we have, people don't understand the pressure and all the other contributing factors. Your body, am I right? My knee's not good. Am I going to get out there and am I able to give 100%? I've said I'm good and I know I'm 95%. All of these things play a factor. But when people look at us, oh, they're strong and they're fucking in there, and they give you their own picture, not thinking at any stage, have I been able to handle this? Am I a little depressed? Is it too much? But they don't even think about that. And nowadays, it's really out there in the public.
Well, that's it.
In our days, no, you never talked about it.
I think the benefit of hearing a story like Guru's these days is that when I first heard about you tell his story, I thought, wow, if a bloke who's reached the heights of rugby league like Guru struggles, that means it's okay. Like,
that's
it's
it.
If just normal me, and it's like, so I think it's you telling this story will help a lot of people.
Positive.
Yep.
Very positive.
Yep.
And it's a hard thing to talk about. I mean, I don't know whether I had depression, but geez, I was down a few times with injuries and over selection when I thought I should have been picked, and they picked some other dude, and he's taken half the wickets I've taken. But my knee injuries, there's a couple of times here I thought, fuck, what are you doing, man? You've just had your 8th knee operation.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to keep going? And I've gone this far, I'm going to have another dig, and you got to drag yourself up, haven't you? Yeah. And that's really hard to do sometimes too.
I probably could have played another 30 games. I probably pulled out of 30 games where there was nothing wrong with me. I pulled out because of up here.
Yeah.
And
But you're right. The pressure is that, SCG, 40,000 people, like TV cameras, the whole media.
not so much that. No. For me, it became a fear to even go out of a night time or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I was a bit worried about getting belted then after that incident. That really stuck. It was a cloud in my head all the time, and that sort of translated into the footy thing. Especially when I started when I was getting older, and I had to train harder to maintain it.
Yeah, that's right.
That sort of stuff, and then I started disbelieving things, and I couldn't believe the things I should naturally have believed.
Yeah. So 1990 is when you retired.
Yep.
Did you know that was time, or you were forced to retire, or you thought, no, it's time to go? Or
I did a pre-season. Mick Rayner was going to coach that year, and pre-season I was just struggling. I thought, no, I'm going to struggle mentally again, to get up there, and then my knee was pretty ornery, and I wasn't like Wayne Pearce. He worked hard on his injuries, and you could never tell that he had an injury. He worked. I never worked hard on any of that. It was a lot lazy thing. I was fighting with it. I asked my wife at that time, the kid's mum, look, I want to retire. I've had enough. And she said, no, we need this. We need the house. Remember, we need.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's what plays up with that.
So I lasted a few more weeks, and then I just went up to Fitzy after one of the training sessions. I said, mate, I can't do this anymore. I have to give it a miss. Yep. And it was a real relief. It was a real relief. But my last 3 or 4 years were really waste of time with how I was feeling.
So with the when again,
I'm speechless.
Yeah, it's great. Well, it's going to benefit people again thinking that
100%.
like everyone has
Oh,
struggles.
moments.
Absolutely. You don't realise. You
don't, Guru.
On to we had Junior Pearce and Spud Carroll here previously, and they've talked about the head injury, CTA stuff, which is in the media lately. How did you go with head knocks during your carear, and did you get knocked out many times?
I got knocked out a few times, but nothing, not a constant thing. Like, it was a badge of honour, as you were saying, Whit. Guys like Spud and had to play in the forwards. They were just belting each other. And
Get knocked out and they just drag themselves up and put them out in the scrum again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I got knocked out, I went off. Take me off.
And if there was a big punch up with the forwards, you go, I'm out on the wing.
That's right.
I'm just heading back to my spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, smarter than the average player.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But it is a problem nowadays, isn't it? I mean, look, all the crew that I grew up watching my heroes, from the John Sattlers, the Gary Stevens, all those, that South crew. You know, I spoke to Bobby McCarthy last year, and he just named all of them.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's okay, Bob. Yeah, he was. We're having him at our president's lunch for the cricket club this year, but he's okay. But I think it's quite sad for him to talk about George Piggins, Johnny Sattler, Gary Stevens, and all of these guys that are now not really good, and it's a problem. And Spud's on a thing to ask the NRL to pay for the scans, which are $900, and they won't do that. Or is that the case, Dawes?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to fight for.
Yeah.
To get the NRL
to get $1,000 per player so you can get your head scanned. I don't think that's a drama. What's the drama with that?
Yeah,
it shouldn't be. They
pay up.
Did it for the clubs.
The boys did it for you. That's right, mate. That's right.
One more thing on.
Hang on, what do you think about the head scan and that?
Yeah, well,
because there's surely a lot of guys you played with now.
There is. There's a few that. Yeah, it's very sad to see and look at. It's Bryce is struggling a little bit with, but he's a fighter, as you know. What
about him? Is he one of the toughest of all time? Ray
He was
Price?
amazing. Yeah. He was
perpetual motion.
He got belted and he just kept going. Again, the badge of honour thing. Just got up and kept going.
Yep.
Crazy. And he couldn't fight to save himself, but he got belted every time, and he just kept going straight back in their faces.
Remember in State of Origin when him and Closey got together, and all he was doing was throwing him, grabbing his jumper and throwing him from side to side on the ground. But I can't even say anything, funny about stuff like that. I can't even.
No, it's very, very sad.
It's very sad.
And we hope that the people that are involved in the NRL or ARL understand it needs to be dealt with immediately. It ain't going to finish. There's going to be a lot of people.
It was opened up by the NFL, wasn't it? They had the court case.
Well, I think they're all worried about that, Eric, because if there's an acknowledgement or something's done, everybody's going to go, they're taking responsibility. We're in for the court case, massive court case. And it would be millions and millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. So that's why I think they need to be paying for these scans. But if they pay for the scans, that might mean that they are accepting responsibility. I don't know what the legal issues are, but Spud's onto it and he's trying to get it done.
Yes, and he's pushing it.
Yep.
One last question on rugby league, and we can get on to music, because music's been a massive part of your life and still is. But in 2008, you were named in the list of Australia's 100 greatest players from 1908 to 2007. So like being named in the Blues best side of all time, that must have been something, that blew you away.
Yeah, that was special. Again, not as much as the State of Origin team, but I felt a little bit out of place when but I'm very proud of that. I played some really good games for Australia, and to be part of that. And when I saw some of the other players, wow,
it's weird, isn't it?
They released a card set, a trading card set on that 2008.
Yep.
And it's pretty fantastic. I'll show it to you later.
Okay, cool.
For $20, I'll just.
Guru,
how's that?
Thanks, Jimmy.
With more feeling next time.
Sorry.
Music, mate, has been a massive part of your life. You've done a few gigs with us in the Oz Icons a few times, but you go way back, and apparently your parents bought you a guitar when you were 10 years old. So tell us about the start of your musical journey.
Well, were they musical?
My dad played the piano accordion and did the the shoe blutting.
Every half the German nation plays the piano accordion, don't they?
Yeah, just about.
And he did that.
Yeah, he did that
slapping thing.
Yeah, it's called they call it shoe blutting.
Shoe
blutting, and he was really good at it, and he could stop doing that and then get onto the piano accordion, and it was pretty clever. Mum had no musical ability. She had a great voice. She could sing. She'd sing to Perry Como and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, beautiful.
And then totally out of the blue, left field, they bought me a guitar for what I don't know for what reason. They must have heard me.
Well, you didn't ask him nothing.
No, it just came out of nowhere. They bought this acoustic guitar, and I went, oh wow, what do I do with that? But they must have heard me playing Beatles records or something in the bedroom or whatever, and and just went from there.
So apparently you had a few lessons, you didn't like it, but your dad gave you the money for the lessons, and you didn't go to the lessons, and you just took the money and you spent it on something else.
Like an ice cream and a bottle of
Lessons
Coke.
are unreal.
The music place was just the next there was a road, and on that corner was the music place, and we had a big willow tree in the front. And then after I went 4 times, it was like going to school again, learning math. And I can't do this. And I wasn't getting anywhere. I wanted to pick up the guitar, but we were just doing theory, And I just couldn't get the patience. And I think the 4th or 5th session in, I would hide behind that willow tree, keep the money. And only lasted a few times. I felt too guilty. And
did they find out, your parents? Where is my attic?
No, I just said I don't want to do guitar, Dad, anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore. And as I walked out, I had this big rattle with coins in it.
So then you learned by ear and taught yourself, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Just been playing records and just trying to play with it. Yeah.
Well,
what was your influences when you say you're playing records? What kind of records were you playing?
Beatles were always
any of the
there.
ones here?
I was introduced to Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A progressive English rock band.
I'll be around about, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Do you remember that song? I've seen all good people turn my heads.
They had some unbelievable
so
things.
Satisfied. What about the harmonies?
Yeah, just fantastic.
Amazing.
He had an angelic voice, the lead singer.
Yes.
John
Was his name Tom?
John Anderson.
John Anderson, that's right.
Yep. Steve Howe was guitarist.
Yep.
Chris Squire, you'd know Chris Squire, bass player.
yeah.
Yes is down there.
I was going to ask you if you got Yes.
Yeah, I got the whole lot. I got everyone that they released.
That's
on vinyl.
interesting because they were really progressive compared to like Zeppelin, Deep Purple was hard. Well, Zeppelin was progressive, but they were really out there, yes.
They were too progressive for me, actually.
Were they, yeah?
Yeah, Chris Squire, great bass player, but it was just like...
Well, they were throwing organ and stuff in like that before anybody ever tried that. That Moog synthesizer.
Rick Wakeman was in it. He was first.
Their Tales from Topographic Oceans album is 1 song per side.
Yeah, because that's a triple album. I was going to say it's triple.
No, it's 2. Just a double.
It's a double.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's one side on...
One song per side.
Wow,
Yeah.
so it's 4 songs.
4 songs.
Jethro Tull did it, remember?
Their stories.
Yeah, they did,
Their
but no one
stories.
did that shit in those days, did they?
Imagine trying to do that now.
That's why punk came along. They didn't like that sort of...
Yeah.
They wanted a 3-chord thing.
Yeah.
So did you see yourself as being like a rock star or something, like as opposed to a professional football player, or you?
Yeah, plenty of times in the bedroom.
Looking in the mirror, going, how good am I
that's just what I want to do. Yeah, but it sort of towards the end of my career, I knew there was an opportunity that I could sort of play, and when I retired, to get a band together was the thing. Yeah.
Can I just interrupt? But I remember watching one of the footy shows early on.
Oh, yeah.
And there you were with long hair, and I think you were playing The Letter by Joe Cocker. Would that be right?
That's right.
That's the first time I ever seen. I'm going, wow, football players can actually play and sing. And I remember I was just pretty young then. I was only about 6 or no. And sorry, I'm only joking.
I was trying to think, what was that song? It goes, give me a ticket for an aeroplane.
But it wasn't a Joe Cocker version. It was another version, another band, and it was a little bit straighter. It wasn't. Joe Cocker's one was...
Because that had Leon Russell playing in it with the big top hat,
yeah.
didn't he? And hitting those keys, yeah.
And Guru, I can still remember you on... They put a stool out. Was it? It wasn't Fatty's footy show,
No,
was
no,
it?
no.
It was something else, wasn't it?
It was it was just a New Faces thing.
Yeah.
Was it was
Okay.
live. It was
Ernie
done-
Sigley, New Faces.
Yes. One of the judges was
Bernard King.
yes.
Oh, Bernard King, the original
got all the
gay
information.
fella.
Wasn't
Oh,
it?
no, he
Have
was,
you?
well,
I remember the show.
he was the original gay
Really?
chef,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Bernard King, that's right.
Yeah.
He was one of the judges, and I was really nervous leading up to it. They said, "Can you sing this song?" So I learnt it, and then I got laryngitis. I lost my voice, whether it was a nervous thing or whatever. And I rang them up and said, "Look, I can't do it. I couldn't speak." And they said, "Oh, we'll get you just to mime it."
Geez,
So
they're
I
good,
mimed
aren't
it.
they?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it
did
was
you?
strange.
Oh, did you mime
I
it?
mimed it. Yeah.
You would have
recorded
sounded
the
like
song,
Joe Cocker.
recorded the song, and then mimed over
Okay.
what I.
Well, you couldn't tell me. You're a very good mimer.
Thank you.
Give me a ticket.
It was
You would have
great.
sounded like
It
Joe.
was really good,
For
man.
an
It was-
aeroplane.
I
I've
can-
lost my voice.
I can remember. And I couldn't work out why you didn't do that in the Gurus or when you played with us.
Yeah, because I just don't like the song.
Fair enough. Oh, because they picked it for you, didn't they?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, the Footy Favourites, they call the album. Yeah.
I've got the Footy Favourites vinyl
You got
album.
it.
Can you believe it? Is it on that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go pick it out.
Got to grab that.
Yeah.
Show the goo before he
Yeah.
leaves.
So when you were playing for the Eels in your footy career, you were I've seen photos of you with a 4-track recorder. So
Yeah, wow.
during that time, you recorded your own original songs, I believe, and I think you've still got those. Have you got the original tapes or some of those songs?
Yes, I have. I've got the tapes. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, and no one's heard them.
No, I've translated some of that stuff onto my Logic Pro on the computer system stuff now. So
Well, when are we going to have a listen to those?
Yeah.
I'd love you to listen to it. Yeah.
How many songs have you got, you reckon?
I got a heap of instrumentals and about 10 singing songs.
That's
Yeah, I got a heap
fantastic.
of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, you might have just opened up a door there, Guru, sitting with these musicians here
I'd
in
love
the
you to
room.
have a listen. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Then you can listen to my 98.
What's that?
I'm up to 98 songs I've written.
Yeah.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I'm up to
98.
9. I'm trying to get to 100. It's really hard.
Your sons play as well.
Yeah,
Both your boys play.
Yeah, they naturally, because I played the guitar, and as they were growing up, they loved it. And they both play.
You should never ask the father this, but how good are they?
Both, yeah,
They're good.
it's different. Yeah, they're good rhythm players, but they got this certain style. Eric's got this very sort of picking style, and Daniel's got this other, like I forget the name of the artist.
Fantastic.
But it just plays all these different chords that I couldn't get my fingers around to do. But they've picked it up really well, and they loved it. And I was fortunate enough to play in the band with them both, and it was just
That's
fantastic.
got to be cool, and
That's
stepping
so
on with your
good,
boys.
Absolutely.
3-Day Growth, it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great name, Guru.
What a
I loved it.
great name.
3-day growth, perfect. When I heard you were in this, you got this band it's called 3-day growth, I went, yeah! It's a great name.
Can I just interrupt you for a second?
No.
Anytime.
I'm
on,
joking,
guys.
mate. Come on.
It's your studio.
Well, mate, just leave me and Guru here. No.
4 more schooners, thanks.
I was just noticing Eric Jr., he was really into that 90s, 2000 stuff. I think he was was he playing in the Vipers for a while? Wasn't he playing on on Fatty Footy Show?
Yes, he got
In-
asked
in
to
the main
he did a
band,
couple
yeah.
of things with them.
And
yeah.
he was really like new, like the newer kind of vocals,
Yep.
wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just wanted to check.
Eric Grothe and the Gurus, that's been around for a while. One thing I like about Eric Grothe and the Gurus is that when you do a show, you do a man of the match presentation after each show
Yes.
on Facebook.
Wow.
And some reason you always seem to win. Like,
Well, it was my idea, so so everyone misses out.
There you go, the captain. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
I
it was-
remember the first gig that we played. Where was that, Doors? Up at
Moorebank Sports
Moorebank,
Club.
that's right.
Oh yeah.
And I just kept looking to my side going, fuck off, I'm on stage with the Guru. I just could not believe, because I hadn't met you prior to that, I don't think.
No.
And I just kept looking. It was
Yeah,
a
when
bit-
Dawes said that Michael Whitney sings, I went, no, he doesn't. Doesn't sing. And when you have an angelic voice,
Oh,
Michael,
thank you very
sang
much,
very well.
Guru.
well, I remember on the Waiter gig because you were driving with me, and the whole trip you're going, fuck, I can't
off,
believe
man.
I'm going to be on stage with the Guru. Dead set.
Mate,
He
I
was like
was
the whole
feeling the
trip.
same. I was feeling the same about you. I'll tell you, the lady I was with at that stage, I told her I was going to be singing with you, and she couldn't believe it either. So it was fantastic. And I turned up, and you were there.
Yeah, and you were there too.
Well, I sort of...
You went, hello, Mike. I went, hi, Eric. Now it's Guru and the Wit. It's all right.
I've done a few gigs with your band, the Gurus,
Yeah,
and
Dawes, yeah.
last year I think we went on a 3-gig tour of northern New South Wales, and
That's right.
in Port Macquarie I got to room with the Guru. And so just like you're sort of thinking about, I'm on stage with the Guru and thinking, how good's this?
I'm rooming with the Guru. Now, who
Fantastic.
won the man of the match on that tour?
Yeah.
Guru.
And that was the party room that night too. Our room was the party room.
167.
167. Yeah.
167, yeah.
Dawes taught me everything.
You and Shuey.
Oliver's. We went to Oliver's.
But Oliver's, yeah. They might become one of our sponsors, actually.
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would.
yeah,
I
get
love
everywhere.
Willie Tucker. Oliver's.
Lifetime supply. You've also got an Ice House tribute show that you started a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And I've got to say, tell the guys too that you do the Ivor Davies extremely well.
Oh, thanks, mate.
You know, it's
Thank you.
just something that's I think you're made for. So
Mate, I saw them at Evans Theatre, and I never really liked Ice House. I didn't buy any of their records. I thought some of their songs were good. Yeah, it sounds good. You know, you got it on the radio, you can't turn it off. But I saw them at Evans Theatre and they blew me away. There's the new production, the big production, and the song sounded different.
Yep.
And straight away, I think I
you
rang
rang
you
me.
a few days later and I
Yeah.
had a cup of coffee with Dawes. I said, what do you think of this idea to do an Icehouse show? And he said it was a good idea.
I mean, Ivor Davies is a ripper. He's
Amazing.
just
Great
out,
songwriter,
mate, unbelievable songs.
Because then Dawsey would ring me up and goes, have a listen to some of this Icehouse, because I never,
Yeah, it's-
I like probably Flowers before they went
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Icehouse.
Flowers,
Probably,
yeah.
enjoyed that.
But
more.
it's amazing.
funny.
Yeah, written
Gone
stuff.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. Back onto the Gurus too. You had the occasional special guest. You've got Spud Carroll,
Spud loves a
who does a couple of
loves
gigs
getting
here.
up.
Does he like playing music?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Addicted
You have
to
to
it.
you have to sort of drag him up on
Oh,
the
yeah,
stage.
yeah.
Our mate, he's a really good bass player.
Yeah.
Ray's been teaching
You've
him
been
bass.
teaching him, yeah.
Yeah,
He told me that.
He's,
That's
he's
right.
getting really good, mate.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if you need a bass player, you should
Yeah,
get
yeah.
him to fill in.
Yeah, and I've done a couple of duo gigs with him, acoustic gigs, and
cool, I like
yeah,
that.
he's into it. And you've had Brett Kenny get up with you, and Bill Harrigan.
Yeah, Billy Harrigan. Yeah,
Yeah.
he loves.
How's he go?
He's like Spud.
Yeah.
You can't.
Does
you
he play?
got to drag him up there.
Does he play, or what does Billy
No,
do?
he just sings. Yeah, he just sings.
Does he use the Acme
Thunderer.
Thunderer whistle?
I'll have to ask him that.
No, we'll be asking him.
Oh yeah,
hopefully.
you get him on.
You're also part of another show called True Sports, which is a couple of sporting and musical legends. You've been able to play on stage with Steve Balby from Noiseworks
Yep,
and
yep.
Rick Rossman from the Hoodoo Gurus, Matt Finish and
The Vinyls.
The Vinyls. So how does that being on stage with
Mate,
blokes
that's
like that?
Special as, and then when you got the Wit and
Yeah, I was
all
in the
those
band for a little while.
Gavin Robinson and
Cheeks.
Rich Cheeks, and those two guys, mate. Yeah, again, that's one of those moments. Again, you're looking, you think, how'd you get part of this?
That's right.
Fantastic.
When you hear Steve Balby do his acoustic version of Touch, the Noiseworks
Yeah,
song.
and you're
when you-
playing the piano beautifully.
Yeah.
This is the thing I got, but I'd already met Balbs because they were cricket tragics, and I met Balbs, late 80s and stuff like that. They didn't see him for a long time. Lovely, lovely bloke. And then I met Rick Grossman.
Yep.
Now, I was a big fan of all the bands that he was in, like big fan, particularly Matt Finish. And then I go, fuck, man, I'm having a cup of coffee with this dude that's a 3-time inductee into the ARIA Hall of Fame. And I had a cup of coffee with him down at Clove Valley. That was the first place I met him. I thought, what a fucking lovely bloke. Like, just another really fantastic bloke. If you didn't know who he was, you wouldn't know. And there he is in Matt Finish, the Divinals, and the Hoodoo Gurus. And we're up on stage there while I was in the band playing with these dudes. It was just, like you said, Guru, you look at them and go, fuck, how did we end up here?
And their stories.
Their stories, because we all wanted to be rock and rollers and we ended up sports people.
Well, that's the thing, watching the sports guys and the music guys, they each want to be each other. Like Rick, when he comes along, he just wants to talk about rugby
Well,
league.
this
Yeah,
was the
they
thing.
love it.
Yeah.
They absolutely love the sport.
This was the thing. They've both said to me, I can't believe I've been up on stage with Spud, Guru. They're saying that. We're saying the same about
Same
them.
about them,
I know.
yeah.
It's crazy.
And at one stage, you had you've been in the podcasting world as well. You've had the Undergrowth podcast with Eric Jr. And
we did that for a little while. We only just spoke about that the other day, and he said, "Geez, I wish we kept it going."
Yeah.
We
Would
could
you
be-
think about
could be
doing it
somewhere-
again?
Yeah. We're thinking about maybe doing something
The
like that.
Undergrowth. Your last name is just magical, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Hey?
Well, Eric Jr. doing all those stuff on those skits on the Footy Show. I think
Yeah,
you were
he's-
in a couple of them as well.
Yeah, he's pretty clever. He did some work with Matty Johns, the Matty Johns show.
Yeah.
They asked him to do some stuff, and they did some great jobs.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's off his head, Matty Johns. I've done a couple of kicks with Matty. He's very clever, very sharp,
Isn't he? Yeah.
very funny.
And
Very funny.
a couple of interesting facts I sort of found out too. I did see something where you're doing Meals on Wheels
Oh yeah.
for mate. I'm the research king
Got our
here.
sources, girl.
And I know you're the kind of guy that you do that and you don't tell anyone, and you're that kind of guy. So, but the fact that you're out there in the community, and it's a beautiful thing. How are you enjoying
Thank
that?
you, mate. Yeah, not doing it because I did it when I was living in Strathfield. I did it for a fair bit. It's when I went through another depression thing and did the wrong thing by people and stuff like. Just had those moments where you think you've just done everything you've done wrong, which is pretty much right. And then I just went through this period and I played up. I had some relationships and I played up on those relationships and I did this, did that. got on the cocaine pretty heavily, and I went down this rabbit hole and did some things I'm not proud of and all that sort of stuff. And it was that time when I was coming out of that, where I just thought I started talking to God within myself, and the idea was to do something for others rather than for yourself. It was all about me for all those years. You got to do something for someone else without anything in return. And I just looked at this volunteer thing, and it was around the corner from where Ted lives, where I was living at Strathfield, and I did that for a little while. And man, one of the best things I've done. Did a little bit at Campbelltown, but now I'm working 3 days a week, so it's hard to sort of fit it in.
I used to go to Harry de Cafe de Wheels. Is it Harry's
Cafe de Wheels?
Is that the same as Meals on Wheels?
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. Guru,
It's nearly
doing
the same,
that.
except for Harry.
Yeah, that's right. Doing that, I mean, you're delivering meals to some people that have got zero. It just takes you back to earth, doesn't it? And you sort of go,
100%.
fuck, man, I thought I was really struggling, but
No, exactly. It puts you in that position where you never had it that hard.
no, never.
You know, some of these people are living by themselves, are so alone. And
Fucking got nothing.
got
Zero. Need help.
Absolutely.
I know them. They just live around the corner.
Yeah.
I can't even. It's too far for me to even go see them. They're by themselves. It's awful.
It's an honourable thing to do, but Goose, so good on you,
well
mate.
done, mate.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well,
Did a lot of these people recognise who you were, or they just didn't? No.
And you don't care.
Not that you cared,
No,
but it's
no.
just
you're
interesting.
not doing it for the recognition, mate. You're doing it all.
It's a world away from any of that.
Yeah.
It's a different thing altogether. One of the guys, I fell in love with him. He was just a beautiful guy. He was blind, and he always knew that I was turning up, and he obviously knew what the time of day it was or whatever. However, he did that. But going up the lift, and he came out to the front part of his unit, and he would just greet you like, you know, he's blind and he's by himself, you know, and he greets you with this happy smile, and wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's that basic human connection, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it
100%.
takes it back to everything. So,
100%.
and also, you worked at Reader's Digest at Surrey Hills as a storeman at one stage.
You guys had to just find that out.
I like this one. You worked at Paraleagues with Brett Kenny. He was a cellarman, and you were in maintenance.
Maintenance,
How
man.
long did you last in the maintenance section?
Mate, it was about a year and a half. Actually, Jack Gibson got us the jobs. Got me that job.
Yeah, wow. But yeah, so mate, it's been a pleasure having you on, and I
Hang
know.
on, you've left. There's one last thing down
I've
there.
got to ask you very important
One last thing.
questions here.
Oh yeah.
One last one.
Okay, I'll go last.
No, you go last. Are you going to ask the same question as me?
No.
Says here, very last question. It said, worked at Paraleagues, Brett Kenny, Solomon, in Guru and the maintenance. Ditched a car at the end of the UK tour at Leeds.
Ah, yes. Yeah. We had groups of 6 or 7 guys that bought a car, and it was me, Shuey, Chris Anderson.
Shuey again.
Yeah, Shuey. He was a driver.
Yeah.
I think Greg Kinescu.
The turtle.
Yeah, the turtle. Yeah, the turtle. And we just bought this car, £150. And
It's
it was
like
just
a
to get
mob,
you around.
isn't it?
And most of the guys did that. We all had a car, groups of 6 or 7, and at the last day in England,
What the fuck are we going to do with the car?
Canal, and then we just pushed it in the canal, and then you could see it just disappear with the red lights on, just disappearing, bubbles coming out of it.
How good,
I'm
man.
glad we brought that up.
We blocked the water supply.
Yeah, of Leeds are so fucking unbelievable. Liverpool blocked their water supply. All right, Ray.
Mate, I'd like to bring in a new segment to this. And what have we been reading? What have you been reading lately? Is there anything you've been reading? On anything?
No, not
While
really.
you think about it, what have you been reading?
I've been reading a couple of things. I've been reading the early history when there was a guy called Watkin Tench who was a lieutenant in the First Fleet.
Beautiful.
And he wrote a lot of stuff. And Dawsey got me that book through his book thing, digest, whatever it was.
Booktopia, another
But it's
sponsor.
an interesting read because these were his diaries that he wrote about everything, including our Indigenous brothers and sisters, and always cricket books. Cricket books. And just
Fantastic.
reading cricket
What have
books.
you been reading, Dawsey?
Oh, I haven't, mate. I've just been so
Come
flat
on,
out. No.
the Playboys. Do they still he went online at Marketplace and bought old 1990 Playboy magazines.
My dad had 1,000 of those.
Did he? Yeah, this is what we want to find
man.
out.
They're
A
all
good
good
man.
for a Sherman tank if you wanted to have a Sherman, a quick Uncle Doug. All right.
And did he hide them? Did he hide them anywhere? And did you just go?
I
and find
found them, yeah.
It's funny. It's like a magnet. You know that thing that used to walk around.
Beep, 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 yeah.
Send them my way if you finish with them, mate.
Well,
So,
Yeah, but no, I'm not finished with them.
Just
I've been
send
reading
them
this.
my way.
I like reading books about music. Did you ever go to the Bondi Lifesavers to see
Now, I've
bands?
heard so many stories about it, I haven't been there, no.
Well, I've got this great book
Fantastic.
that was written by
Saw
Craig
all the
Griffiths,
bands there.
and of course, there's been a forward by Glenn A. Baker. He has to have his
Oh,
name
he
on
knows
everything.
everything.
Yeah, and it's a really good read,
Look at that.
mate. When you were playing, was there any favourite bands you used to go see, like Cold Chisel or Midnight Oil?
No,
or,
I never-
Or not really into it.
No, I loved it,
Yeah?
but I was a bit of a homebody. I never really, I didn't have the group of mates that let's go out and get in,
That's
watch
why.
it.
That's why all the people come to see the Guru stay at home. You know what I mean? Same kind of thing, same as us.
What about the Lifesaver? Just make this comment.
Yeah.
On a Friday night, we'd see Rose Tattoo at Maroubra Searles Club. Then on a Saturday night, we'd see In Excess at the Coogee Bay Hotel. And then on a Sunday night, Divinals would be playing. Mate,
Weekend.
every week.
Wow.
It was every single week, wasn't
haven't-
it?
I
Tuesday,
lived.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And
Sunday.
Wednesday, they started, South Seniors started putting a gig on Wednesday night, and the resident band for about 3 months was Rose Tattoo on a Wednesday night.
Shit.
Oh, man, it was crazy. They were the golden years, weren't they?
So I'm surprised that you didn't,
Yeah, he was a Westie. He's a
No,
Bondi.
but Parramatta. I used to play Parramatta leagues almost once every 6 weeks. Yeah.
No, I never did. I never went out and there was never that group of mates that. Later on, as the
sure.
footy
Do you know
thing,
who I
but we
used to-
didn't. We never used to go to.
Do you know what I used to see there, but Bondi Lifesaver? Shuey.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's always
Shuey and all
there.
them eastern suburbs, bloke, straight in.
Yeah.
And there was about 30 Sheilers around him as well.
Yeah, right.
All the time.
But I think it's time to wrap it up.
Time to wrap
It's
it up.
Yeah.
But I want to say one more thing is that if I'm ever lucky enough to get the call from you to fill in with the Gurus, mate, I'm still in training because I'm man of the match. Is what I'm looking to do. Is like that's one of my life goals after a Guru's gig.
Mate,
So
if
We
you
won't let him.
do I have to do the Ian Schubert brown paper bag under the table? The Roosters?
if you can get some sort of sponsorship from Oliver's in some way, then you'll be in.
Well, I
Then
know
you get
this
the man
fact
of the match.
about you. You love Oliver's yogurt, don't you?
I do.
Now, how did I find that out?
I don't know.
Oliver's, for people who don't know, Ray doesn't know, he's giving me this weird look. Who the fuck is Oliver?
Yeah. Is that chocolate?
No.
No, it's on when you go
On the
onto the
motorway.
freeway, the motorways up the coast or down the coast. and-
Organic food.
Yeah, organic food. And
And the yogurt.
the yogurt. There's a story behind how we came up with that sort of innuendo. But
Ted likes the yogurt too.
yeah. How is Ted?
Ted,
Do you miss
he's-
living with Ted?
I do a little bit, but he's not as good looking as my girlfriend.
That's right.
We do sponsors. Do you want to do a bit on your new little? Do you want to do on our new sponsors, MacArthur?
No,
MacArthur Marble and is that you?
Yeah.
MacArthur Marble and
He's
Granite.
going really well. He doesn't need a plug.
He doesn't. He's
Fuck
doing
him
all
then.
right?
MacArthur
Well,
Marble and Granite. They cut granite and marble and they put it on kitchen tops.
But he doesn't need a
beautiful.
plug. Fuck him then.
Hey, what about the tents? What happened to that?
Yeah, we're starting to get back into them.
Marquee
so
hire?
if you need
Yep.
marquees,
Marquee hire.
tables, chairs, if you want to party out the back, we've got all the gear.
We'll put the links to that on our socials and website for if
Thanks,
everyone
mate.
wants
We're
one.
going to Vegas.
We're going to
We're
Vegas.
going to the footy.
The
We're
footy.
going to watch the footy.
Do
We're
a
going
podcast.
over.
How good would that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you come?
Because
I'd love to.
how's that?
How's
Do some
that?
podcasts.
Junior Pearce has got us a room at the Hilton. We can do
Stop
the
it.
podcast from,
Yeah.
interview some of the players.
Yeah.
And we're going for a week, and we've got a new. I was the tour manager, but now Ray's better half, Sue Nosty, is now the official tour manager. She's coming to keep us in line.
Yeah, and I don't have to do anything.
And that'll be a special podcast episode
Yeah, good stuff.
when
That'll
we
be
get
awesome.
back from Vegas.
She booked us a 5-bedroom Airbnb house with a swimming pool, in-ground swimming pool.
It's like 3 streets off the strip.
Wow.
So, mate, if you change your mind between now and then, just
When's
give
the
us-
spare room?
yeah.
What month is that? When's that up?
We're leaving
End of
Feb 27.
Yeah, end of
Come
Feb.
back
The
March.
game's on the 2nd of March, I think.
Yep.
The games are on.
Just really, how's that?
How's that?
We're
How
doing
is
that.
that?
Take some photos for me, will you?
Not coming then.
Spud was going to come, but because he had his knee op and he was keen, he was going to come along. But maybe you come off the bench and take Spud's spot.
Well, okay, I'll give it some thought.
Guru, thank you for today.
Thank you.
It
Thanks,
was
Rich.
just
Thank you, Ray.
fantastic,
Yeah.
mate.
Thank you,
Your
Dawes.
honesty
Thanks,
and
guys.
your stories.
I feel
it's just-
comfortable with you guys, so I can
Thank
do
you
that.
Good
so
on you,
much.
brother.
As
Yeah,
long,
that was
as, long
so
as no
good.
one else listens to this, you know.
Yeah, we'll cut most of it out. It'll be a 5-minute podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Good on you.
My
Good on
pleasure.
you, girl.
How's that? So, yeah, don't drink these when you're driving, when you go home. Wait till you
No,
get
mate.
home first. And, yeah.
Beautiful, mate. Thank you.
All right, over and out until we see you. And, Guru, please try and get to Vegas. We'd love to see you there.
we'd love
I'd love to
see you,
come.
mate.
Thank you.
There we go.
Over and out.